Hey guys, KRX50 here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the Rotom Zukan Deluxe from Pokemon Sun and Moon. This is an upgrade version of the previously released toy of the Rotom Pokedex. It features the complete Alolan Pokedex, new features and new modes, as well as compatibility with Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. The set itself includes the Rotom Dex and stylus. So, let's get started. So first off, let's take a look at the Rotom Dex itself, and to help us out with that, let's bring in the original version of the toy. So starting off, the first big difference you'll notice is the size, with the deluxe version being about twice the size of the original. The shape is also a bit different. You'll notice that on the original it has these little arms out, whereas on the new version it has them in. And this makes more sense for a Pokedex type toy, since this is the mode where it's meant to be handheld, whereas this is where it's supposed to be floating around. You'll see that the details are a lot more refined, with bolder lines for the eyes, bigger faux speakers, and this one actually has the proper speaker on the front right here. You also see that for the screen, they've also enlarged the size and made it not so square, and made a more distinct line between where the screen ends and where the eyes begin, whereas over here it's just kind of a black void, rather. You can see it has one button here compared to 3. For the feet, they're a little bit different, and that is one of the little disadvantages here, which is that the original does have more balance, as while I can balance this, also very easily falls over. Going around to the back, you can see that it has a sticker here for where the camera would be on the real version in the games. You can also see that it is again more rounded, and the details are a bit more pronounced. Though interestingly, this one still has a little loop for attaching something like a phone charm to. Additionally, this one has a stylus because this has a touchscreen now. So you can see this little stylus here, which has the top part which looks like the Rotom Dex itself. You can simply take it and slide it into here, just like so. Next, we'll get to the electronics. So to do that, you're going to need to press the button here below the screen, and that'll turn it on. So starting off, we'll get in its standby mode, where it shows the face and the mouth. You'll see him changing expressions occasionally. If you tap the screen, he'll talk to you. He'll also have little icons that will display to go along with what he's saying. As you can see, he's very expressive. Then to get to the menu, press the button again. And so we get to our menu where we have 4 different options. We have Pokedex, Fieldwork, Pokemon School, and Settings. So we'll start with the Pokedex. It'll start by showing you how much percent of the Pokedex you have complete. Then we get to the index, where it goes in the numerical order of the Alolan Pokedex. So we can start by selecting an entry. We'll start with the first one, Rowlet. So it'll say the Pokemon's name, their species, their type or types, and then a description. You can then go left and right to go between different entries. Next we can choose how we want to sort them. So we can sort them by number, by alphabet, by the Japanese alphabet of course. You can go by tallest or shortest, heaviest or lightest. And this is updated for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So if we say go to Necrozma,
ネクロズマ、プリズムポケモン、タイプ、エスパー、エネルギーとなる光を求めて暴れる姿は、どこか苦しげ、別の世界の存在らしい。
we have this button here, which is the form button. So if we tap it, we switch from the normal form Necrozma.
ネクロズマ、黄昏のたてがみ、プリズムポケモン、タイプ、エスパー、鋼、ソルガレオの光を食らい続ける姿。敵に飛びかかり、背中と獅子の爪で相手を切り裂く。
It gives us Dusk Mane Necrozma, and as you can see, the different forms also have different entries. Next, we can go to Dawn Wings Necrozma.
ネクロズマ、暁の翼、プリズムポケモン、タイプ、エスパー、ゴースト、ルナーラの光を食らい続ける姿。巨大な爪で敵をつかむと力任せに引きちぎる。
And finally, Ultra Necrozma.
ネクロズマ。ネクロズ
Well,
マ。
actually, Ultra Necrozma isn't in the Pokedex, rather.
ネクロズマ。どのポケモンの図鑑を見るのと
We can also search using this button here, or its icon, rather.
図鑑検索モード。どれで検索するのと
So you can search by name or by type. So, let's go by type.
どのタイプのと
And so here we have them in order, so I'll just read them off so you can know which one is which. So we have normal, fighting, poison, ground, flying, bug, rock, ghost, steel, fire, water, electric, grass, ice, psychic, dragon, dark, and fairy. Let's select electric,
タイプ。
and then we can select something like, say, Pikachu.
ピカチュウ、ネズミポケモン、タイプ、電気。寝てる間にほっぺの袋で電気を作る。寝不足だと弱い電気しか出せなくなる。
And you see there is a form button here on Pikachu, so we can tap that.
ピカチュウ、アローラキャップ、ネズミポケモン、タイプ、電気。パートナーであるトレーナーの帽子をかぶったちょっと珍しいピカチュウの姿。
And it will give you the Alola Cat Pikachu, which is unfortunately the only Cat Pikachu in this Pokedex, but since this pertains more to the TV show than the games, this does make some sense.
ライチュウ、アローラの姿、ネズミポケモン。ライチュウ、ネズミポケ
And
モン。
of course, the evolution Raichu also has its forms.
どのポケモンの図鑑を見るのとどのモードを起動するのと
Next, we can get to field work.
フィールドワークに行くのとどこにポケモンを探しに行くのと
So, we can select our area to go to from one of several. So, going on, we have the Pokemon School, the grassy field, the beach, the resort town, cave, the seaside, volcano park, jungle, desert, dark forest, mountain path, ruins, and ultra space. And for any area you've completed, it will have a little crown up top. So, let's just go to one of the areas with this button here, which is the confirm button.
ポケモンスクールでポケモンサーチのと選んでタッチのと
So here, you can choose to use a Pokebean or a Rainbow Bean to help get your rare Pokemon, and you get these through the Pokemon School mode, which I'll show in a little bit. Or you can choose not to use one. So, let's choose to use a Rainbow Bean.
画面をタッチして前に進むのと
Next, you have to tap the screen a few times to advance forward.
何かいるのとこの辺りでポケモンに出会う確率 50% のと
Next, it shows your percentage of how long it is to find a
ポケモン
Pokemon.
をキャッチのと
Also, if you use a Rainbow Bean,
ポケモンを探すのと
it'll show you which Pokemon you gotta find. So, next you have to tilt the screen, or tilt the Pokedex, to search for it.
見つけたろと画面をタッチしてポケモンを撮影するのと
Then you tap the screen and take a picture.
撮影完了メタモン変身ポケモンタイプノーマルどんなものにも変身できるがメタモンごとに得意なものと苦手なものがあるらしいどこにポケモンを探しに行くのと
Let's choose a different area. Like, say, the cave.
洞窟でポケモンさ選んでタッチの
This
と
time we won't use anything.
画面をタッチして前に進むのと何かいるのとこの辺りでポケモンに出会う確率 70% のと
So that's 70% chance.
周り
Now
を見
let's go
回
looking
して
for it.
ポケモンを探すのと
There we go.
見つけたのと画面をタッチして岩を
Now if
砕く
this
のと
appears, you want to touch the screen rapidly and break the rock, which will reveal the Pokemon.
画面をタッチして撮影完了だったアローラの姿
And if you tap the screen, you can skip the description. Let's go to the ocean.
海岸で選んでタッチのとこの辺りでポケモンに出会う確率 90% のと周りを見回してポケモンを探すのと見つけたのと僕を振ってルアーを投げるのと
Now if it goes like this, you want to shake to cast a lure.
タイ
You'll
ミ
be
ングを
fishing.
合わせて振るのと
Now wait for it to rumble. And give it a good shake.
画面をタッチしてポケモンを撮影完了コイキング魚ポケモンタイどこにポケモンを探しに行くのと
Then, we'll go to the jungle.
ジャングルでポケモンサーチのと選んでタッチのと画面をタッチして前に進むのと何かいるのとこの辺りでポケモンに出会う確率 90% のと周りを見回してポケモンを探すのと
There we go.
見つけたのと画面をこすって
Now for this one, you want to rub the screen to shake away the grass.
画面をタッチ撮影完了たまたま卵ポケモンどこにポケモンを探しに行くの
Now there's one more where it'll show an arrow, and if it does that, you want to shake the screen rapidly to follow after the Pokemon.
どのモードを起動するの
Next, we get to the Pokemon School, which is a collection of minigames.
ポケモンスクールに行くのとどのアクティビティにするのと
So we'll go about these in order. So the first one is get Pokemon with Ash. So in this minigame, it wants you to select which Pokemon it tells you, and this will take some knowledge of the Japanese name. So this one is saying Gigaius, which is Gigalith.
ゲットのと
And I'll give you 3 of these. The next one is Denryu, which is Ampharos.
ゲットのと
And finally, we have
ジガル
Zygarde.
選ぶのと ゲットのと お見事のと
It'll show you your score. This will show you the number of times you've done this too. or rather the number of Pokemon you've got from this minigame.
ポケ豆を使って新しいポケモンを探しに来る
And it'll give you some Pokebeans and or Rainbow Beans.
どのアクティビティにするのと
Next up is spelling with Lily.
どちらか選ぶのと
So with this, you'll be challenged to spell out the names of different Pokemon. You can choose from Hiragana or Katakana. Since most Pokemon are spelled in Katakana, we'll choose that one.
このポケモンかけるのとトランス
So it'll give you one kana at a time. You just have to trace and then select the button here. Though it is a little bit sloppy because of the way the touch sensor works, or touch screen.
と
And it is also lenient with you, so you don't have to be specifically in the lines.
ラ かけたのと
And there we go, we spelled out Transcell, the Japanese name of Metapod.
すごいのと
I'll show you how many times you've gotten Hiragana and how many times you've done Katakana. And it does cycle through various different Pokemon. And so far I haven't found any repeats.
ポケ豆を使って新しいポケモンを探しに来ると
Now we'll always give you at least one Pokebean, and I don't know what exactly is the specifications or the requirements for getting Rainbow Beans in all of these
ど
games.
のアクティビティにするのと
Next is Fishing Math with Lana.
答えがわかるのと
So this one, it'll give you a math problem. You have to choose what is the missing number here.
選んでタッチ
Select it from lures from 1 to 9. Then select.
僕を振ってルアーを投げるのと
And once again, we shake to cast
タイミングを合わせて振るのと
and shake when it rumbles.
正解のと
And as you can start to see, these are basically a lot of teaching minigames for kids.
お見事のとポケ豆を使って新しいポケモンを探しにどのアクティビティにするのと
Next is pancake cooking with Mallow.
クッキングスタートのと
So we're given a timer and some instructions in order to cook some pancakes. First up,
割るのと
have to tap to crack these eggs.
混ぜるのと
Rub to stir them.
ひっくり返すのと
Then shake to flip.
すごいのと
And then we'll do it again.
割るのと混ぜるのと
And the goal is to try to get at least 5 done before the timer runs out.
ひっくり返すのといい調子のと割るのと混ぜるのとひっくり返すのとお見事のと割るのと混ぜるのとひっくり返すのとお見事のと
Alright,
割るのと
just one more.
混ぜるのとひっくり返すのといい調子のとおいしそうのと
And there we go.
お見事のと
I'll show you how many times you've made pancakes, or rather, how many pancakes you've made again.
ポケ豆を使って新しい
Alright, there we go.
ポケモンを探しに来るとどのアクティビティにするのと
Next, we can do rhythm programming with Sophocles. This is a memory
真
game
似をするのと
where it'll task you with remembering which Pokemon were selected.
にゃびにゃびにゃびにゃびピカチュウ足割りピカチュウ足割り ニャビピカチュウニャビピカチュウニャビピカチュウニャビモクロニャビニャビモクロモクロニャビニャビモクロピカチュウモクロモクロモクロピカチュウモクロモクロモクロリズムに乗れていたのだ
And there we go. As you see, you don't really have to do it in rhythm with the ones, you just have to memorize and match
ポケ
them.
豆を使って新しいポケモンを探しに行くのだどのアクティビティにするのと
Then the last one is Z Crystal hunting with Kiawe.
この Z クリスタルを探しろと
So we need to remember this Z Crystal
この Z
and memorize all the spots where it appears on this board. I'll give him a few seconds.
選んでタッチのいい調子だと OK だと OK すごいだと
And there we go.
この Z の Z 技はダイナミックフルフレームだと
There we go. It'll just also, tell you what the Z move for that Z Crystal is. And then you also gather up Z Crystals using this mode, though I don't know what those actually do within this.
探しに行くのだどのアクティビティにするのと
Next we have Results mode, which will just show you the results of the different games.
どのアクティビティ
And lastly, we have Pokegag notes, which are little jokes from the Alola and Professor Oak. Now these are gathered by doing several of these over time. As you see, I've only gathered 4, so you really have to play these games a lot in order to unlock all of these.
どのモードを起動するのと
Then we have the settings.
設定モードのと何の設定をするのと
So, you have your sound settings, we're going to adjust the volume.
サウンド設定完了のと何の設定をするのと明るさ
The brightness
の設定
settings.
のと設定完了のと何の設定をするのと
Your touch specifications, which is basically calibrating the touchscreen.
調整完了のと何の設定をする
Then
のと
you select this button if you want to delete all your data.
どのモードを起動するのと
Then, if you want to turn it off, you just press and hold the button here.
また後でのと
And the final and probably most useful feature here is how this interacts with Pokemon Sun and Moon. So, one thing I didn't show is here at the horn we have a little hole up here which is actually a speaker. And that's to go along with a feature that is included in here. So, to set this up, we'll need to turn this on and have it on the standby screen.
Alola
And we'll open up the game, which I have set to the Pokedex. And we'll select the Pokedex. So, one thing you might have noticed when playing the game is that when you encounter a new Pokemon in the wild, there'll be a little screen overlay that appears, and there'll also be a approximately 4-tone sound that appears. That is what's called the Rotom signal. This can also be activated by selecting the QR code in a Pokemon's Pokedex entry. So, if we take a Pokemon, and just for fun, let's go and find Pikachu. Then, press the X button to bring up the QR code.
ピカチュウが覚える技、ボルテッカーは特別なセット技になるのと。
It will actually send a signal, or rather, if this picks up the sounds, it will give you a little bit of info about that Pokemon. And if it's a Pokemon you haven't registered through the Pokedex's fieldwork mode, it'll actually register to it. And it actually also is able to recognize if you've caught the Pokemon in your game or not, as that will be reflected within the Pokedex. So I only have a few that I purposely left out, which are the Poplio line. So, we can register those right now.
足まりはアローラの旅立ちのパートナーのと。進化するのはレベル17のと。
Now that, actually, you get the stars at the beginning of your adventure when you start this up. So what I'm really missing is Poplio's 2 evolutions.
おしゃまりはレベル34で進化するのと。登録完了のと。
Then one more.
アシレーヌが覚える技、歌方のアリアは特別なセット技になるのと。登録完了のと。
And once you complete a full line of Pokemon,
進化系
that
の
will
ポケモン
appear.
が全部埋まったのと。ビビビ、なんと今のポケモンでアローラ図鑑完成のと。ついにこの時がやってきたのと。アローラのポケモンすべてと出会えて、君とたくさんの冒険ができて、図鑑冥利に尽きるのと。本当にありがとうのと。クールのみんなも集まってきたのと。今日はみんなでお祝いのと。
And so with that, we've completed the Pokedex, which is why I was saving those, so I can show this on camera. And there we go, it congratulates you.
本当におめでとうのと。これからも一緒に冒険を続けるのと。どのモードを起動するのと。
And then it goes back to normal. And there we go! So overall, the Rotom Zukan Deluxe is a major improvement of the original, which I really felt was kind of a rushed attempt at just putting a toy version of the Rotom Dex out there, considering how early it was released and how it only had 100 Pokemon, which was not even half of the Alolan Pokedex. And this improves upon the original in just about every single way. The form is a lot better since it's bigger and also more accurate. It's got touchscreen, which is a very nice thing to have, especially compared to the 3 little buttons that you had to use originally. Of course, like I said, it has the full Alola Pokedex, so you're going to get a lot more play value out of it. And even though it still has the motion control gimmick, it is definitely more refined and a lot less finicky than it originally was. You've also got the minigames, which, as I said, are really for little kids, but, you know, they are still more features that you can do. Plus, they get you Pokebeans that you can get, or that you can use, to help you find the rare Pokedex in the fieldwork mode. And the thing is that as you go about and get more Pokemon, and fill out more Pokedex entries, that's how you unlock the different areas. And you also occasionally get special events for special Pokemon, like the legendaries or mythical Pokemon. So that also makes it worth it. And definitely the biggest feature here is the Rotom signal, which does mean that you don't have to do as much of the field work. But it also means that you can fill out your real-life Rotom Dex as you're filling out your Pokedex in your Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon game, which I think is a very cool feature because this is the first time that something has been done like this with a Pokedex toy. So that's something that really, I think, stands out from pretty much every other Pokedex toy that's been released in the past. Now, one thing to note is that this is, of course, going to be more expensive than the original, since this is, at least where I bought it, this was about $68, but for something of this high quality, I definitely think it's worth it. So, if you're a Pokemon fan and you want the definitive version of the Rotom Dex in toy form, this is definitely the one to get. So next time, I'll be reviewing the BCR Line Cleaner form tomorrow at 7 p.m. PST. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.